Hey, welcome back to Goose Creek Fly Fishing. I'm Trent. If you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. And if you're a returning visitor, thank you. Today I'm going to tie the Adams dry fly, or at least my variation on the Adams dry fly. There are a few things I've changed up on how I tie it and some of the techniques and materials I'm going to use. So go ahead and sit back, enjoy yourself, and let's get into the tie. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, I've already got the hook and the vise, and this is a TMC 100. I think it's a size 12 that I'm using just for the camera. So you notice I like to start the thread just about an eye width behind on the shank of the hook, and then I go back to roughly what I'm going to say is the middle of the shank, and then I come forward to the midpoint, which I see it is right there. Now this is how I set all my dry fly wings. And yes, when you're tying a dry fly, you're going to start with the wings. So I know on a lot of flies, you're going to start at the tail of the fly and work towards the head. But on a dry fly, it's a little different. You want to put the wings in first. So for the wing, and this is one of the things I'm doing a little different, this is a Indian saddle patch rooster. They instead of using a larger neck for the feathers, I'm using that. These tend to be a little cheaper, so if you're new to fly tying, look into those. So I'm using the barred feathers. And you notice I'm lining that up, and I need to just trim off just a little bit more. The nice thing about a barred feather wing is it's kind of graduated with the bars, so you get a real good idea of where you need to trim at. So we're here. That seems about right. So I'm just gonna bring that forward, where I've trimmed it just down to the stems. Wrap that in nice and tight. You can see how thin those stems are on that feather. And that's nice, but you gotta be careful because they're gonna be pretty delicate too. You can accidentally break them. So there we go. Now we got our wings standing up. We can separate these out a little bit. Like so. There we go. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to tie in the tail. Now my tail that I like to use on my Adams dry flies is I like to use moose. So here is some moose that I like to use. I just clip off maybe a half dozen or so fibers, and I will put those in a stacker. I did that off camera to get them kind of lined up. Now you want your tail equal to the length of the hook. So right about there, so I can see how long I need it. So I'm going to go ahead and clip that. Now when I'm tying this in, I'm on my side of the shank of the hook, and I'm coming over the top with it, and then I'm holding the thing. Now why I do it that way, and I'm going to come back to the beginning. Now I do it that way for a couple reasons, and one is there's the thread torque. Let's move the vise. There's the thread torque on the material when you go to put it on. So if you put it on the top of the hook, sometimes that fiber, whatever it is you're using, will want to roll over the top. So to counter that, I always start it just on my side of the shank of the hook and then tie it in, and that thread torque will roll it right on top of the shank where I want it. So the next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to dub on, and this is called Adams Gray dubbing. I think the one I'm using is from Fly Right, but I think pretty well every company that makes a dubbing makes an Adam Gray. So you can it's pretty easy for you to find. So I've got it. You can tell the material kind of tapers up a little bit on my hook or on my line as I come forward. So we're here, and we've got that. Now the only thing left to do is going to be to hackle this fly. So what I'm using is, on a lot of patterns, people will use a grizzly and a brown, which is kind of traditional, but I have what's called a creel. So the creel, that's not really showing up too well, is it? The creel has browns and blacks and tans and everything in it, and this one again is on a Indian saddle. So if you find a teal, or a creel rather, neck, I suggest buying it. They're really nice to tie with, and they give a great effect on the fly, and you only have to use one hook, or one feather rather. Now, out of habit, I did go ahead. Whoa! See that torque? It's trying to pull the wing over. Out of habit, I did pull two feathers. And then we're just gonna come over here and move our wings up out of the way. And I generally, as a habit, I like to do 3 wraps in the front and 3 wraps in the back. So I may have done an extra one there, but I had some hook shank. So just come over the top, tie that off. And if you ever wondered, who needs those really fine tip scissors? When you're doing work like that, that's when you want those fine tip scissors. So, just going to give a couple more wraps here at the head. Looks like I got a few errant fibers there that are not wanting to behave. Pull out the whip finish tool. And knock it out. 1, 2, 3, down, pull up away. My whip finisher, I have it sharpened to a wedge there. Saw another fly tyer do that. I took the idea. I thought it was great. So let me back out a little bit. So here is, the wings are a little off. We'll just push it into place. There is my version of an Adams dry fly. Again, I hope you liked it. If you have any questions or comment, drop them below. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll answer any question you may have. Give this fly a chance. It's a very old pattern. It's a very effective pattern, and as I just showed you, it's not terribly difficult to tie. Dry flies tend to look a little more intimidating than they are. So till next time, I'll see you around the vise.